We typically assume that the ultimate aim of all our efforts is to have a happy life. It's the promise whispered in fairy tales, shouted in advertisements, and posted in curated perfection across our social media feeds. A life of smooth seas, sunny days, and perpetual smiles. Judged on this basis, many of us have to admit, in the silence of our own minds, that we're not really doing very well. There's so much that every year, and perhaps almost every day, comes along to spoil our ambitions. There's a power struggle at the office that leaves a bitter taste. There's a persistent, low-level problem in our families that never seems to resolve. Our friends, whom we cherish, can sometimes feel superficial or disengaged, lost in their own worlds. Our own anxieties don't abate. They just change shape, like clouds reforming in a restless sky. And our relationships, the supposed bedrock of happiness, are often scratchy or distant. These difficulties generate a basic layer of misery, a kind of background hum of dissatisfaction. But then, a secondary, more corrosive layer is swiftly added to it. This layer is caused by an underlying, deeply ingrained sense that our unhappiness represents a fundamental violation of life's true purpose. We feel we've broken a sacred contract we never consciously signed. Not only are we unhappy, we are unhappy that we are unhappy. In the light of our tightly held belief in the possibility of a state of enduring satisfaction, we're both sad and crushed that we have failed at the single most important goal open to all sane and ambitious humans. It feels like everyone else received a manual for life that we somehow missed, and we're just fumbling in the dark, pretending to know the way. It's in such moments of knotted misery, when the weight feels unbearable, that we may gain some profound relief from reframing our entire situation. While we may not be able to simply wish away our burdens themselves, it does lie in our power to alter what these burdens have to mean to us. We may not have to take them as proof of our stupidity, our inadequacy, or our ill-adjustment. Instead, they could be seen as signs that we're destined to have interesting lives, rather than merely calm ones. These are lives marked by a high degree of exploration, deep psychological understanding, and constant striving, rather than the flat plateau of settled certainty and equilibrium. What we lack in terms of simple contentment, we may more than make up for in terms of profound insight and rich experience. Think of a sailor. The one who has only ever known calm seas and fair winds may have a pleasant journey, but they know very little about the true nature of the ocean or the true strength of their vessel. It is the sailor who has weathered the storm, navigated by the stars and darkness, and repaired a broken mast in the middle of a gale who truly understands the sea. Their hands are calloused, their face is weathered, but their knowledge is deep, and their respect for the power of existence is absolute. Their story is the one worth hearing. We, the often troubled ones, the typically anxious ones, the ones who frequently reach the end of the day as exhausted and shaken as if we'd crossed mountains, who can begin to judge our complicated situations with a new, ruthful kind of pride. We belong to a distinctive and, in its way, estimable cohort, the explorers of the interior world. We are the ones willing to descend into the messy, complicated depths of the human heart, while others might prefer to stay in the well-lit lobby. We're always going to find a cloud on our horizons because we are looking deeply enough to see them form. We'll never spend more than half an hour before being visited by some kind of distemper because we are sensitive to the subtle shifts in our own emotional weather. We're never going to simply accept things as they are or make totally wise, risk-free choices around love or work because our very nature compels us to question, to seek, to risk, and to grow. But this, perhaps, doesn't have to be the measure of everything. We don't need to be constantly offended by our own agitations. Our day-to-day troubles don't have to be the yardstick by which we judge the value of our entire lives. Given where we've come from and how we're constituted, we were never going to be happy in that simple, obvious, storybook way. And that is perfectly okay. Perhaps a good life can, in the end, be entirely compatible with being fairly perturbed most days of the week. Perhaps it doesn't matter that a relationship failed once more. That failure may have taught you a crucial lesson about your own boundaries or revealed a strength you never knew you possessed. Perhaps it isn't appalling that our business venture doesn't deliver the financial returns we might have had in our safe, old job. Through that struggle, we've stretched ourselves. We've learned to negotiate, to innovate, to face failure and get back up. We've learned to raise our voices. We've developed courage. These are not small things. These are the building blocks of character. We don't have to see the marks of grief, the scars of trouble, as violations of a pristine contract. We can see them for what they are, the logical, unavoidable, and even beautiful consequences of our stubborn and subtle natures interacting with the immense complexities of existence. They're the proof that we have lived fully, not that we have lived poorly. We're sometimes frightened into reorienting our lives by being asked that classic question: how might we feel about our lives from the vantage point of our deathbeds? It's a tool meant to shock us into pursuing what really matters, which is often interpreted as happiness. But let's truly imagine that moment. Let's look back not with regret, but with this new lens. If on this bed, looking back at a true roller coaster of emotions, and events we might have gotten married for the 5th time recently, started a new career at 60, or finally learned a paint we might smile to ourselves. And to the steady, rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor beside us, a soundtrack to our final reflections, we might say with a deep, earned wisdom and compassion, it wasn't a calm life for sure. It wasn't, for the most part, even a happy one. But heaven knows it was a truly and properly interesting one. And with this as our measure, we might meet our end with all the satisfaction and self-acceptance we could ever hope for. But here's the most beautiful part. We don't have to wait for that final moment of reflection to grant ourselves this grace. We can start today. We can choose to see the story of our life not as a graded exam with a pass/fail mark on happiness, but as an epic novel being written in real time. Every challenge is a plot twist. Every mistake is character development. Every moment of joy is a precious, highlighted passage. In the Japanese art of kintsugi, broken pottery is repaired with lacquer mixed with powdered gold. The philosophy behind it is that the object is more beautiful for having been broken. The cracks are not something to hide. They are part of its history, a testament to its resilience, and they are illuminated in gold. Our lives are like this. Our heartbreaks, our failures, our scars, these are the cracks. By viewing them through the lens of an interesting life, we are mending them with gold. We are making our own story more valuable, not in spite of its imperfections, but because of them. This is the true art of living, trading the relentless, exhausting pursuit of an elusive, perfect happiness for the rich, authentic, and deeply meaningful experience of being fully human. It's a peace that comes not from a lack of storms, but from the quiet confidence that we have become excellent sailors. If this message of reframing our struggles into a rich and interesting life resonates with you, we invite you to continue this journey of exploration with us. Please subscribe to our channel for more content that helps navigate the beautiful complexities of life with wisdom and compassion. If you found value in this perspective, a like on this video helps us reach others who might need to hear it too. And please share your thoughts in the comments below. Would love to hear a chapter from your own truly interesting life. Thank you for being here.